His name was Omar, 54 years old, senior engineer, sharp man. His colleagues said he was the one who remembered everything. Then one evening, his daughter called to say happy birthday. He didn't know what she was talking about. He had completely forgotten his own birthday. Not the party, not the plans, the whole day. And when his wife showed him the photos from dinner the year before, the cake, the candles, his own face laughing, he felt nothing. No flicker of recognition, no trace of the memory. Just an empty space where his life used to be. He came to see me 2 weeks later, and the first thing he said was something that I hear from patients more than almost anything else right now. He said, "Doctor, I think my brain is just getting old." And I had to stop him, because what was happening to Omar had a name, a mechanism, a reason, and more importantly, it had a reversal. In the next few minutes, I'm going to take you inside the biology of what is actually happening to your brain after 50. Not vague theories, specific science, the kind they publish in peer-reviewed journals, but never explain to you in plain language. And at the 7-minute mark, I'm going to tell you about one thing, one single habit, that millions of people do every single night, thinking it's completely harmless, that a university study found was physically accelerating memory loss. You need to know what it is. Stay with me. This matters. I'm Dr. Richard. And on this channel, I give you the kind of honest, science-based health information that should be in every clinic room, but rarely is. Let's talk about your brain. Right now, deep inside your skull, there is a small curved structure called the hippocampus. Think of it as your brain's recording studio. Every memory you form, every name, every face, every conversation passes through this one structure first. If the hippocampus is healthy, the recording is clear. You remember, if it's damaged, the signal breaks down. The name is gone before it reaches storage. The word disappears mid-sentence. You walk into a room and the thought evaporates. Here is what nobody tells you. After the age of 40, the hippocampus begins to shrink, about 1% per year. That doesn't sound like much, but by the time you're 60, that's a 20% reduction in the very organ that makes memory possible. And here's the part that changes everything. The hippocampus can grow back, not metaphorically, not with supplements, literally, physically, measurably, on an MRI scan. It can increase in volume. And the first tool that does this is so simple, it sounds wrong. Researchers at the University of Pittsburgh took adults between 55 and 80 years old, divided them into 2 groups. One group walked 40 minutes, 3 times a week. The other group did stretching, no aerobic component. After 1 year, they scanned both groups. The stretching group, hippocampus, continued to shrink as expected. The walking group, hippocampus, grew by 2%. 2%. That is roughly 2 years of age-related shrinkage, reversed from walking. Here's why. When you do aerobic movement, anything that raises your heart rate, your body releases a protein called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Scientists call it miracle grow for the brain. BDNF repairs damaged neurons. It strengthens the connections between brain cells. It physically stimulates the hippocampus to generate new tissue. The dose the research supports, 40 minutes, 3 times per week, alternating between moderate and brisk pace. Not a marathon, not a gym membership, a walk. But here's what I need you to understand. And this is where most people make a critical mistake. Exercise alone will not be enough. Because the second piece of this equation happens while you're asleep, every single night. And if you're getting it wrong, which most people over 50 are, the exercise will only take you so far. Let me tell you what your brain is actually doing while you sleep. Your brain is running a cleaning cycle. Scientists discovered this system only about a decade ago. It's called the glymphatic system. While you're in deep sleep, cerebrospinal fluid pushes through your brain tissue and flushes out toxic waste products that your neurons produce during the day. One of those waste products is called beta-amyloid. Beta-amyloid is a normal byproduct of brain activity. Your neurons produce it every time they fire. It is supposed to be cleared out every night. But when it isn't cleared, when it accumulates, it forms plaques, hard deposits on brain tissue. Those plaques damage neurons, block communication between cells, and directly accelerate cognitive decline. The plaques that define Alzheimer's disease are made of beta-amyloid. And here is what the research shows. 1 night of sleep deprivation, just one, causes beta-amyloid levels in the hippocampus to rise by approximately 5%. One night. That is from a study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Healthy adults, scanned before and after a single night without sleep, 5% in one night. Now think about what happens over months, over years. Every night you get 6 hours instead of 8. Every night you lie in light, broken sleep while the cleaning cycle runs at half capacity. The plaque builds, the memories fade, and the slower your memory gets, the worse your sleep becomes. Because a brain filled with amyloid plaques actually disrupts the brain regions that regulate sleep. It becomes a cycle that feeds itself. Now. I told you at the beginning I would reveal the one thing millions of people do every night that accelerates this. Here it is. Checking their phone when they wake up in the night. I know it sounds small, but follow the biology. The deep sleep stage, the one where the glymphatic system runs at full power, requires your brain to be in slow wave activity. Slow, long brain waves. Completely dark environment. No cognitive stimulation. When you wake at 2 a.m. and reach for your phone, even for 30 seconds, blue light hits your retina and tells your brain it's morning. The slow wave stage collapses. You drift into light sleep. The cleaning cycle pauses. And because slow wave sleep is clustered in the second half of the night, hours 5, 6, 7, people who check their phones at night are interrupting the most critical window of the entire cleaning cycle. Night after night. Year after year, the fix costs nothing. Phone out of the bedroom, complete darkness, consistent sleep and wake time, including weekends. That is prescription number 2. But here's the thing. Most people get completely wrong when they try to fix their memory. They treat exercise and sleep as separate problems. They do one for 2 weeks, feel nothing dramatic, and give up. What they don't understand is that there is a third piece, and it connects everything. Your memory is not just a brain problem, it is also a gut problem. Your gut and your brain are connected by a bidirectional network of nerves, hormones, and immune signals called the gut-brain axis. The bacteria in your gut produce neurotransmitters, including serotonin and dopamine. They regulate neuroinflammation, inflammation inside the brain itself, which is now understood to be one of the primary drivers of cognitive decline after 50. When your gut microbiome is disrupted by processed food, chronic stress, fragmented sleep, inflammation rises, and that inflammation actively attacks the hippocampus. But here is what the research is now confirming. One of the most powerful known interventions for reducing neuroinflammation and elevating BDNF is intermittent fasting, restricting your eating to a defined daily window. Even something as accessible as a 10 to 12-hour window has been shown to significantly reduce inflammatory markers in the brain and improve cognitive performance in adults over 50. What fascinates me about this finding is that it's not new behavior at all. Muslims around the world have practiced daily fasting for over 1,400 years. During Ramadan, millions observe a form of intermittent fasting that modern neuroscience is now finding produces measurable reductions in neuroinflammatory markers and improvements in memory and cognitive recall. Ancient practice, now confirmed by brain scans. And what ties all 3 pieces together is this. Exercise raises BDNF. BDNF deepens your sleep. Deep sleep activates the glymphatic system. The glymphatic system clears beta-amyloid. A cleaner brain has less inflammation. Less inflammation improves the gut-brain axis. A healthier gut produces more BDNF. One leads to the next. They are not 3 separate interventions. They are one cycle. And when you understand that, when you run all 3 together, the effect doesn't add, it multiplies. So, here is the protocol. 3 things. Starting this week. First, the BDNF walk. 40 minutes, 3 times a week. Alternate between comfortable pace and brisk pace every 3 to 4 minutes. Not a gym, not equipment, a pair of shoes, and 40 minutes. Second, the brain clean routine, 7 to 8 hours. Phone out of the bedroom, not on silent, out of the room entirely. Same bedtime and wake time every day, including weekends. Your glymphatic system needs consistency the way a hospital needs a schedule. Third, the eating window. Stop eating at least 10 hours before you need to wake up. If you wake at 7, stop eating by 9 the night before. This is the minimum effective dose. It's sustainable. It's enough. Give it 6 weeks. Not because I'm asking you to trust me, because 6 weeks is when the research shows measurable improvement begins. Not months. 6 weeks. I want to go back to Omar. 3 months after I first saw him, he came back. He sat down across from me and said something I won't forget. He said, "Last week I remembered my daughter's exam date before she reminded me, first time in 2 years. He looked at the floor when he said it. Not because he was sad, because he understood what it meant. It meant he was coming back. Memory isn't just information. It is how we stay present for the people we love. It is how we stay ourselves. And it is not gone, not yet. Not if you act now. Your brain built those memories once. Given the right conditions, it can build new ones again. This is your reminder that what is happening to you is not inevitable. It is biological, and biology can be changed. If this reached you today, if it made something click, share it with someone you love who's been quietly worried about their memory. They may not know that reversal is possible, and do not go anywhere yet. Next week, I'm publishing something that stopped me mid-research. There is a food, something most people eat at least 2 or 3 times a week, that a peer-reviewed study from 2025 has now linked to accelerating cognitive decline by as much as 40%. It's in most kitchens right now. It's marketed as healthy, and almost nobody is talking about it. That video goes live next week. Subscribe, turn the notification on, because I don't want you to miss it. I'll see you there.